Increasing your sales on Amazon, or even making your first few sales on Amazon. It's what we all want. Today, we're going to show you how to optimize a listing to increase your visibility and sales. Due to the cyclical nature of selling on Amazon, a better listing means more sales means higher ranking, and higher ranking means more sales once again. So it's a very important part of selling on Amazon. You need your listing fully optimized to get the most out of it. Optimizing your listing increases your click-through rate, which is just the percentage of customers that see your product and end up clicking on it. It also increases your conversion rate, which is the percentage of customers that click on your product and end up purchasing it. Those are the two most important metrics that we'll focus on. The main keys to a great Amazon listing are amazing photos, a clean and clear title, complete bullet points and product description, as well as having a scannable listing. I will show you a very simple and effective way to increase your visibility and ranking through SEO later in this video. But first, we need to understand exactly what Amazon SEO is. So for SEO on Amazon, you're basically optimizing different elements of your product listing, mainly the product title, description, bullet points, and back-end keywords. By making sure these are fully optimized and complete, you're essentially going to boost your visibility. You're going to be seen for more different customer search terms, and that essentially leads to more clicks and sales in the long run. So the first and most important part of a product listing is the images. It's the very first thing that a customer will see, and they instantly decide whether or not to click based on that first image. For this reason, your main image needs to be eye-catching, clean, and professional, while also showing some of the possible uses for your product and the reasons why it might be better than your competitors. Additionally, you want to make sure that you have at least 7 photos in your listing with a good mix of product photos, lifestyle photos, and infographics explaining the benefits of your product. We can use this phone umbrella listing as an example of poor images, and I'll show you how I would optimize them to increase sales. On this first photo of this phone umbrella, I'm not getting a very clear understanding of the size or scale of this product. And as a consumer, that would confuse me instantly. Going back to what I said earlier, the two metrics we're really focused on is the click-through rate and the conversion rate. So whatever changes you're going to be making to your listing, you need to be tracking these two metrics over time. This data is all available inside Seller Central, and you should be using that data to help make decisions. So maybe you change the main image on your listing. You can then look at the click-through rate, you can look at the conversion rate, and see how that change has affected those metrics. So if I'm critiquing this listing, the first thing I'm noticing is they've only used 5 images. I said you should use 7, so that's the first drawback to this listing. These images are just also not very clear. You can tell that they were photoshopped, and even in this image, you can see that the writing on the phone is Chinese. And a lot of people would think that that's not a big deal, but every little thing matters. This just doesn't convey an image of quality. So I was trying to look for other competitors in their niche to show you an example of a good set of photos. This listing here is the best seller in the niche, and their photos are not good either. So they're selling despite poor photos. That actually probably means there's some opportunity in this niche to come in with a better listing and sell better, but they're probably just selling well because of them being first to list this product on Amazon. And honestly, this is not a good example of what you want to be looking for. So I'll show you a real example of a good listing with good photos. So I found you guys an example of good photos. Here is an Anker speaker. This brand is notorious for having good quality photos. And as I scroll through them, you probably understand why. Very simple, but they show the product in a great light. I actually own the speaker myself. So clearly their photos left a good impact on me, and I ended up purchasing the speaker. You can see all the photos, they're high resolution, they're using at least 7 images, they have some lifestyle images, and they're showing the benefits of their speaker. That's basically all we need. But I'm sure you guys can tell the difference between the quality of these images and the poor quality on the last listing. So if you have your own listing that you're wishing to optimize, Helium 10 embeds this listing score right on the listing. So for example, here they've given this listing a 6.4, and it breaks down some of the most important metrics that you need to focus on when trying to optimize your listing. Obviously, as you can see, they have an issue that there's only 5 images. The description, in their opinion, is not long enough, and the reviews are not good. That's something that's less in your control, but it definitely plays an impact on your conversion rate. Now, this isn't the end-all be-all of optimizing your product listing, but it's a great place to start. Helium 10, as with all their tools, make things a lot easier. And that is the reason why I recommend everyone uses Helium 10. I pay for it myself. It has so many helpful tools. I do have a discount in my description below if you'd like to purchase it. So the next most important piece of your listing is the title. Amazon most highly credits the keywords in your product title to give your products the most rank juice for those keywords. So what does that mean? Basically, have the most relevant and high search volume keywords in your title. Depending on the category, there is a character limit for how many words you can have in your title. You need to look this up for your own product. Ideally, you'd like to find a balance between keyword stuffing and readability. You want your customers to be able to read the title and know exactly what they're going to receive, but you also need to pay attention to the fact that Amazon is most highly giving you keyword rank juice for those keywords in there. So it's a good mix between the two. So in my most recent YouTube video, we did a keyword research tutorial. You build a keyword list for your product, and you're using this keyword list to create your title and bullet points. We're going to get into the bullet points now. So once again, we're going to use this umbrella listing to critique their bullet points. The main thing I'm seeing here is this listing is not super scannable. I think less than 5% of customers are ever going to read through the entire set of bullets here. Bullet points should help the customer understand everything about the product. They should highlight the features and address any concerns a customer might have. Once again, we're going for a good mix between readability while also having the right information in there that helps customers make decisions on the purchase. If you're stuck on what to write for your bullet points, follow this formula. A little trick I like to include is fully capitalizing the first word of each bullet point. This helps break up the bullet points and make it easier to read. When I said scannable earlier, this is what I meant. Okay, now scrolling down to this seller's product description, let's take a look. Here it is. Very poor, very poor. So the whole purpose of the product description is to highlight some of the lesser key features that you didn't already mention in your bullet points. What this seller has done properly here is specifications and technical knowledge that a customer might use. However, it's not very well formatted and it just doesn't look professional. Because the product description does hold some SEO juice, you do want to include any keywords that you haven't been able to include in other places in your listing. So a good product description will have a good mix of exact product specifications like they have here, but it's also going to include some additional features in some longer form written content. Try to make it as easy to read because most customers aren't even going to look at the product description anyways, but if they're looking for a specific piece of info, it should be easy to find. Keep in mind, if you're brand registered and have access to A+ content, this will go in place of your product description. Keep in mind that A+ content does also give you ranking juice for different keywords, so this is a good place to put it if you want to rank for additional keywords that you haven't already mentioned in the rest of your listing. It can also be a good idea to include high volume keywords that are in other languages. So in the American market, it could be Spanish. Lots of customers don't search through Amazon in the native language, as you might expect. To make sure that your listing is fully optimized, you do want to make sure that your search term fields in the back end of your listing is fully complete. Once again, this is a great place to stuff keywords that didn't make it into your title or bullet points. I do highly recommend using the A+ content if it is available to you. You have a lot more options for images and there's more space to show key product features about your product. Having more spaces to show more images about your product gives you an advantage over your competitors. One place that you definitely cannot cheap out on if you want success on Amazon is paying for professional photos. I've made the mistake of trying to do my photos myself. I see other sellers do it all the time. You're just losing sales. And if you have higher quality, more professional photos, you're going to make that money back so fast. So don't cheap out there. So that's a good breakdown of how you can optimize your listings. If you're still not seeing results from optimizing your listings, keep in mind, you do need to get enough views on your product. So you need to be ranked well, and you still have to bring a great quality product that is better than your competitors. I hope that helped. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button below. I plan on bringing lots of free value over the next year. I want to help you guys get started on Amazon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.